Namaskar. Hello all. Hope you all are doing good. We had talked about the mains preparation quite long back. I'm really sorry for that. Pardon me because the schedule here was too hectic. Now, as the mains is approaching, I thought we should look into essay. What I had done, because I must say in my 2020 attempt, I had scored around 107 in essay, which is quite a disappointing figure. Then I improved it to 105 in essay. Then in the subsequent in 2021, I had scored around 115. No, 117, 105, then 117. And this time I have scored around 135. So I see this as a jump. There was something that I did, that I changed in my strategy, that in my approach, for which my marks got increased. Now I want to share you the same things which you can also apply in your essay, so that you will get a very decent marks, because nowadays the essay that we are getting is of what you say, the philosophical essays. The problem comes when the philosophical essay comes is it requires you to think and present at the same within the same amount of time. Earlier what it used to happen, that you get topics on health, education and all those things, for which the students were quite well prepared. But now when it is philosophical essay, you can't imagine, you don't know what to write and what not to write. By seeing the topic, you have to analyze, you have to think about it, you have to think about multiple perspectives. Then only you can write whatever you want to write. So that is the problem now. Now let me be very clear. Let us first define what we are all going to discuss in this video. In this video, I'll tell you what all tips and tricks that helped me increase my marks from 105 to 135, a quantum jump of around 30 marks, which is quite crucial when every single mark is very important. Number two, we will discuss what is the philosophy behind the essay, why UPSC is having this essay paper as such, and the other things regarding essay. So I want to make it a very holistic a session in which I want to discuss every single thing about essay. If there would be something that would be left, we will deal that in subsequent sessions, or I'll make another video for you that regarding. And there would be some things, like there would be some PDFs that I will share either in my Telegram channel, or I'll post it in the in Google Drive or something. I have to scan it, so please be patient. Please keep checking it once in a while. I'll do that as and when I get some time. Now let us come. What is, see, the thing is that you might think that we will be talking trivial in the beginning, but I want you to understand this very clearly. Why option is given to you in essay? In GS paper, you don't get any single option. You have to write 20 out of all the 20 questions. But in essay, you are given a choice that out of 4, you have to choose one in section A. In section B, again, out of 4, you have to choose one. Why they are giving this option? And you know that in optional also, you get some options wherein you have the liberty to choose the question. The thing is that when you are writing in essay or optional, they want to check your depth. In GS, they want to check your width, how much diverse knowledge you know, and whether you are able to fill up 2 to 3 pages with very good or optimum quantity of knowledge. But in essay, it's not the case. In essay, they want to know how deep you can think, how deeply you can analyze a situation, how deeply you can present your thought in a very lucid manner. That's what makes this essay very different, in the sense it works upon your creative sense, it works upon your analytical sensibilities and every single option. So that's why it is very important to approach essay with a very open mindset, and that's what which makes essay very different. And you cannot, in GS we have set formats like define in the introduction, you can define the term, and after that you can write this and way forward and then conclude. But in essay, you can't be very mechanistic. You can't simply put the things and just jot it down. It has to be very logical. So now, before beginning, let us know what UPSC wants in an essay. I am reading out the syllabus. The syllabus says, from the notification, not the syllabus as such, it's the guidelines on essay. The candidates may be required to write essays on multiple topics. This is very clear. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject. Quote unquote, closely to the subject. That means you are not allowed to deviate much from the subject. Remember this, okay? Number one, closely to the subject of the essay to arrange their ideas in an orderly fashion. The first thing is closely to the subject. Number two, you have to arrange your ideas in an orderly fashion. It should not be like you are writing anything random, and after writing one positive, you are going to negative, then one positive. This is not the thing. Third thing, and to write concisely. Concisely means You should not lengthen it out of proportion. It must be very concise. Credit will be given for effective and exact expression. That means you must be able to deliver very directly what you want to say. It should not be like, where is your nose, and you are saying that this is my nose. You should say this is my nose directly, as simple as that. So no need to do much of things. So what are the things that we read? You must write closely to the subject, arrange the ideas in an orderly fashion, write concisely, effective and exact expression. These are the 4 things. Now let us discuss what you should do to regarding essay. Let us first come to the topic, what topic should you choose. In my opinion, whatever I'm telling, again it is a disclaimer, I'm telling whatever I felt was good for me and what worked for me. I'm not saying that whatever I'm saying that will work 100%. I'm not claiming at all that. It's up to you. Now, which essay topic to choose? Regarding, there is one misconception that you must choose essay topic which is not very general, जिसमें सब नहीं लिख रहे होंगे तो आप लिखेंगे तो आपको अच्छा मार्क मिलेगा. I don't subscribe to this viewpoint. Essay topic you must choose in which you are very comfortable with, because here you don't get marks for writing or filling the pages. Here you get marks for analyzing the topic well. And you can analyze the topic very well if you know in and out of it. For example, if there is a simple topic about women or health or something else, honesty is the best policy. It might appear very general and you will think that 90% of people would write on that. Let them write. You write by adding some more dimensions. You will get very good extra marks. So that's why don't go after that, I will write very unique topic and all those things. I don't subscribe to that viewpoint. You must choose the essay topics in which you are very, very, very comfortable with. Okay. Number 2 thing, how should we divide the time? Is brainstorming required or not? Should we start writing directly from the when the exam starts, or should we give some time for active brainstorming? In my opinion, I used to do brainstorming, and you must also do, because what they've said, you should write in an orderly fashion and you must write. So the thing is that you get 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours for each essay. In that, based on your ability, based on your capability, based on your writing speed, you should allocate some time. For me, it was around, I used to do brainstorming for 20-25 minutes, and in the rest 1 hour to 1 hour 5 minutes, I used to write my essay. This single 20 to 25 minutes will decide how much marks you will get in your essay, because it is during this phase that you think about the essay and you put it on the paper and you proceed accordingly. So that's why it is very much important to give adequate amount of time for a brainstorming. Otherwise, what you will write is just a piece of literature with no ending, no beginning, and it is like something that no one can understand, no one can decipher. There would be no order, there would be no conciseness. It would be like lengthy grammar. So that's why it is very much important that you must do brainstorming and you should decide your time accordingly. I'm not going into much detail because you must be knowing about all those things. Now, as we have discussed, the essay should reflect depth and clarity. That is very, very, very important. Now let us come to what worked exactly for me in this attempt and what changes I did. In this attempt as such, I started my essay, both the essays, with anecdotes, real life anecdotes. For example, this year the topic was that you should repair your roof when the sun shines. I started it by quoting the example of the DC of Nandarbar district of Maharashtra, Sri Rajendra Bharut, if I am not wrong, IAS. Rajendra Bharut sir, what happened when after first COVID wave, everyone was very silent. Everyone was just into complacency mode. What Rajendra Bharut sir did, he thought that if the next wave of COVID hits, then we must be prepared. So in the meantime, he constructed a lot of oxygen plants and all those things. When the second wave of COVID came, Nandarbar was not, there was no deficiency of oxygen in Nandarbar district. Rather, it supplied oxygen to other districts. So what Rajendra Bharut sir did, he had repaired the roof when the sun shines. What does this mean? Repaired the roof when the sun shines means that when the sun is shining, when the situation is suitable, you must complete all your safety works or something, so that when it rains, there will be no water leaking inside your roof. That is what. If Rajendra Bharut sir had not done that, then he would have faced similar difficulties what we saw during the second wave of COVID. So that's what. So see, by this single anecdote, I told the examiner that I am crystal clear about the topic. I hit directly at the bullseye. This is what which helps. I will share with you a list of anecdotes that I had made during my preparation. In fact, I'll do a video about that. So I will describe in which cases you can do that. I'll share it. You can check it any day. So this I started with an anecdote, and here I told myself that I am crystal clear about this thing. But I must say, you shouldn't write the anecdote or something 1 or 2 pages long. I wrote it around half page, one paragraph. Within that, you must be concise enough to present it. And this conciseness will come only after due practice, and due practice. So this is what one thing that helped me. Number 2 thing that I did, you must be all aware about the intro and body and conclusion. Now the thing is that I try to write thesis statement. Many don't write, many write. It's up to you. If you want to write, if you can write. If you don't want, it is perfectly fine. What thesis statement? In the thesis statement, I'm telling the examiner, see examiner, I will be dealing with all those things in the essay. Now let us, for example, say that what happened. Look, for example, if it says, do you think the world will be a better place to live if everyone comes together? If this is the essay topic, you can start with an anecdote and you can write a thesis statement that let us discuss or let us see whether, let us analyze whether world will be a happy place to see and all those things. But don't say that in this essay we will analyze how world will be a better place to see if better place to live everyone comes together, because here you are concluding. Here you are directly agreeing with the topic. No, you should agree with the topic only after you have made sufficient reason in the body. You should analyze why everyone comes together, then it is a better place, and why it is not a better place if everyone comes together. Then after that, you must reconcile both the points, and then you can say in the conclusion that yes, it can be a better place if given the virtues of justice, equality, and liberty and fraternity happens. You should not conclude the essay in the thesis statement by saying that this is the thing or that is the thing. That is a word of caution. If you are not sure about it, you can leave thesis statement, but it is generally a link. So what I did, you can write, just as I said, I started with an anecdote, then I came to the thesis statement I had written, if I'm not wrong. Then you can directly come to the body. Now the body part should be very organized. You should not write one positive, one negative, one positive, one negative. Rather, you should combine all the negatives. What I used to do, you can combine all the positives, you can combine all the negatives, and then you can write. Generally, in this topic, not in other topics, I used to write the negatives first, then the positives, and then reconciling them, I used to propose a way forward or something. That will help you in getting all those brownie points, because while coming to the end of the essay, you are telling about the positive things, and you are starting at a negative tone, but going towards the end, you are ending it at a positive note. So that will help you. What they say in an essay, there should be 4 parts if you are writing a good essay. One is underlying pessimism, next is overarching optimism, third is constructive criticism, and fourth is effective redressal. If you are not able to deal with all those things, it is perfectly fine if you can leave it. No issues as such. But what I'm trying to say, what I did, I'm trying to say, don't emulate it. If you feel it is good, you can try about it. And in fact, I'm telling again a word of caution that if you are not able to do it perfectly, then the essay might look mechanistic. So everything that you are doing, do perfect practice. Get it checked from someone who is very, who knows about the topic. And after that, you can try all those things that will happen. Don't do that. I'm telling you, and you are directly replicating it in the exam hall. No, if I'm telling you something, you must try it here now, and you should get it checked. And then only if you get good feedback, then only you should write it in the exam. Okay. Now coming to the body, let us take the same topic that you should repair the roof when the sun is shining. Here what you can do, you can write about multiple perspectives. You can say when the roof is shining, that you must repair the roof. You can take examples from mythology. You can take examples from environment, because this is the time, if you, in the ozone hole thing, we repaired the roof in the perfect time. That's why the ozone hole is shrinking. If it would have crossed around half of the world, then there was no chance that we could have recovered the ozone hole. You can take example from ozone hole. You can take example from industry. You can take example of any industry. You can take example of any corporate world wherein the company was on the verge of going down. But due to some good measures of corporate reforms or administrative reforms, we came back. So this is how you can diversify your topic. Go to sports. You can say how in sports by single one correction and we achieved this and achieved that. Now you can again provide a counter perspective that many times you don't get the time even for to repair. Many times you don't get even the time, and in fact when there is time also, you cannot repair. For example, if you will go to the Mahabharata war, Lord Krishna tried for a peace pact with the Kauravas, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Many times it don't materialize. So you should perfectly write it. You should club all the similar points one time, other points in another time, and you perfectly interweave them. And at the end, while you come, you should say that whenever it is possible, you should try and you must try. And that is why. But the counter perspective is that for the negative terms also, for the negative forces also, it appears like, for example, if you take the superstitions, the dogmas, what happens in the dogmas, what happens if the dogmatic persons will also repair the roof in the perfect time when the rational is going down, then what will happen? They will also get strengthened. So you must say that it must be based on the values of all those ethical values that you must say on that. Now let us take another simple example. Honesty is the best policy about the essay. I am discussing these topics with you. Now, in honesty is the best policy. You can start with an anecdote, and in the body part you can write. In the body part, it is very easy to write that you can say in politics, honesty is the best policy because you can give an example, this happened. In economics, it is the good thing. But here, do you see any analysis part? No, you are just writing pastel approach, polity, economical and all. You think I have given a lot of examples, I'll get good marks. But here you haven't done a single amount of analysis. And it is for analysis that you get the mark. Here you haven't done a single analysis. You have said for political, this is the honesty paid well. For economics, honesty paid well. For society, honesty paid well. What is analysis then? You can say honesty helps in enhancing the trust of the followers on the leader. Then you quote that example of polity. There what you said. In the political arena, honesty is helpful. Here you are analyzing. What analyzing? Honesty will help in increasing the trust of the subordinates. Give the example of same polity. You can say honesty will help in enhanced decision making. Give the example of the economics. You can say honesty helps in remaining bold, maintaining the integrity even at the face of the adversity. Give the example of society. Here you say by using the same examples, you have analyzed the topic properly. You have went one step deeper. You have said honesty helps in all those ways. You have not used a template of pastel or something. Rather, you have thought it out of yourself and you have used that. That's how it will help. Now again, you can propose a counter perspective. Is honesty always helpful? Or is honesty always the best policy? The answer is obviously no. How? You can give an example. Like, for example, if there is a riot situation, one section of the people is after the blood of another section of the people, and you belong to one section of the people, you belong to one of the section of the people. Like, for example, okay. The other section of the people, one person from the other section of people comes to you and asks, can I take shelter in your house? And you say, okay, you are a good-hearted person and you believe in non-violence and all this, and you may stay, you say. But later your section of people comes and asks whether there is someone of the other section who is here. And if you are very much honest, you will say, yes, he is here. Then what will happen? They will kill them. They will hurt them. Anything might happen. Because when a riot happens, no one is in the normal mental state. It's herd mentality. Once it happens, it's very difficult to control. So here honesty is definitely not the best policy. So when honesty is the best policy, here you have to reconcile. You have told all the positives. Now you are telling negative that honesty is not the best policy when it comes, when it goes after the life of a person, when it is against the virtues of humanity. Now you have to reconcile that honesty is always the best policy when it is based on the values of justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, water, all those constitutional values, and you can control. You got it? Yeah. Now, another thing that you can do, what I did which helped me increase my marks was that the same example that you use in introduction, one of my very good friend, Surajji, had proposed me this. What you use in example, you can also bring it back to the conclusion. For example, in the topic that I had said about Rajendra Bharutji, it was a very good example. And when the examiner will read, definitely it will impress him. For example, let us assume that in the body I didn't write much well. So by the time the examiner reaches the 10th page, he would have forgotten what I had written in the introduction. But if in the conclusion I will say, if this thing happens, not one Rajendra Bharut sir, but millions of Rajendra Bharut sir will come forward and they will repair the roof and all those things. When I include this line in the conclusion itself, the examiner will be reminded of the introduction, and for the introduction he or she had a very good impression. Then this will also carry here and you will get good marks. Because at the end, after reading the last paragraph only, the examiner gives you mark. So at the end, what you have to do, you have to link it with the introduction. I did that in both the essays, if I'm not wrong. And what happens if you are writing very good anecdote in the introduction, and if you are linking it properly, you will get good marks, because the examiner will be reminded of the introduction, how you started and all those things. Okay, now that is there. Now there is another question that people ask me: what essay do you consider as a very good essay? If while you are writing essay, give it to one of your friend, and if that person starts from the beginning and goes till the end, and without even thinking, "अरे ये क्या था?" without even stopping for the once, he or she doesn't realize that essay कब शुरू हुआ, कब खत्म हुआ, and he was so engrossed in that essay, that means the essay is very good. For each time the examiner stops and thinks कि यार टॉपिक तो ये था, ये क्या लिख दिया इसने, थोड़ा इधर चला गया क्या, थोड़ा उधर. For each time the top examiner thinks of this, your marks will get reduced. So that's why the best essay is that which when someone starts reading and goes till the end and doesn't realize when the time passed, and it is very much related to the topic, that is a very good thing. Now another thing, that for a good essay you must quote examples very profusely. It shouldn't be like you are bombarding the topic with examples. Rather, you must use examples to justify your points. Like for example, I said honesty helps in increasing the trust, or honesty helps in making one person bold and to stand with integrity intact even in the face of adversity. For that, you can use one example. To support your statement, you should use one example that will help you. Good examples is important. Diversify. Don't restrict yourself to political, economical, and sports. This thing. Diversify your examples. What diversify? Venture into the realm of sports. Venture into the realm of corporate governance. Venture into the realm of mythology. Venture into the realm of international relation. Venture into the relation of what all are happening in the current affairs. That will help you diversify. Because if you restrict yourself into the pestle and all those things, you might not write a very good essay. Even though you write a very good essay, but it might not be. It might sound very cliche. Put an example. Put an thing of women. Put a perspective of the marginalized section. Put a perspective of the environment. Put a perspective of every single other thing that is not so common. And at the end, you must maintain that in the essay you don't become too much informal, or you bring out all your emotions. Like I dedicate every single blood and all those things. It is perfectly fine. We all, in fact, I say that if you will ask me, I was so emotional, and I respect my nation so well that many times I used to leave aside all the formality, and might also write in the essay that I dedicate every single blood of my body for the unity and integrity of this nation. But this is not what the examiners would appreciate. They appreciate a very calm and composed mind. So that's why you must control your emotions. We should have emotions, and this is our motherland. We must love it with every single thing that we have. But at the end, for the examination, you should be a balance-headed. Don't be too emotional. Don't be too informal. Maintain that thing. Now we have discussed about the and interconnection with. Keep closely to the topic and free flow. Yes. So we have discussed almost everything. Now, if there is any other thing that you want to discuss regarding, and another thing that is very much important is use interconnecting words. Like for example, you are writing positive things. So, like for example, you are writing similar things. So you can start with firstly, or to start with something. Then in the next paragraph, furthermore. Then in the next paragraph, moreover. This thing. Now you are changing to another set of things. Like for example, you wrote the positive something. Now you are coming to negative. Here you must use the connector word in the starting, like on the other hand, having considered, on the other hand, contrastingly, something, so that the examiner will be clear that okay, here he is discussing the ideas belonging to this realm, and here he is discussing the ideas which is belonging to that realm. And when you are reconciling both the positive and negative, for example, the honesty topic, honesty is good in these things, bad in these things. However, you can use that. You can use when you are reconciling, use the word however, having considered everything. So these all things will help you, so that the examiner will also be very clear that you are segregating the idea and you are arranging them in an orderly fashion, which is the requirement of UPSC, as we have discussed in the beginning. So having said that, what will work for me? Number one, what I did, I'm not saying you everyone should use anecdotes at the beginning. If you have a knack for it, definitely use. In fact, earlier I used to start with definition in the essay. It might sound very named, but I used to do that. But this time I changed to anecdote. But that must be very concise. If you are using something very interesting in the introduction, link it with the conclusion. You can use value addition also. You can use slokas also. Don't overdo it. 1 or 2 sloka per essay is perfectly fine. You can use declarations also, like the Alma Ata declaration and all those things that is there. You can use very real life examples also, that will help. So it is a ground for your creative expression. It is a 10 to 12 pages that you are given per essay, wherein you are given a chance to impress the examiner. You can impress the examiner by showing how deeply you think about it. It's all about, like, for example, if a simple topic is given, venture into the dimension of intersectionality. For example, if a topic of discrimination is given, don't stop about on the discrimination of women or a disadvantaged or a divyang or something or something. Rather, go into the intersectionality also. Like, for example, discrimination against women is there, but the discrimination against a woman who is also a divyang is much more, or vulnerability you can say, and the vulnerability of a divyang woman who is not belonging to the affluent section is even higher more. So go into the intersectionality, go into diverge into all those things. This will help you get good marks, because the examiner will appreciate that you are able to appreciate all the nitty-gritties of the thing that are prevalent in the society. That's all that helps in the all those things. Now, if you will ask me what all things helped me in the essay, in fact, if I'm not wrong, I had referred to the essay techniques by the Mehak Jain ma'am. There are some videos in the YouTube also that are there. In fact, she had very lucidly had described how to write good essays and all. You can also watch that. That will also definitely help you. And in fact, I will also ask you to look into the topper's copy. Don't just look into topper copies, rather analyze how the flow is going, how they are jumping from one section to the other, and they are concluding it very precisely. And prepare a set of examples that are multidimensional, that you can use at a number of places. For example, like a number of places. Like, for example, there might be one example which you can use for women issue, which one you can use for also for divyang issue, which you can use for elderly issue, which you can use for corporate governance, and lot of things. For example, let us take the example of Sudha Murthy ma'am. You can use her for women empowerment. You can use her for transparency, integrity, and all those things. You can use her from bold and courageous, because if I'm not wrong, she was the first engineer or something from the college, women engineer, not the first women engineer. So use such examples which you can use at multiple places, and that will help you do that. So in case of any other queries, you can please reach out to me. In fact, you can give the comment on these videos, because regarding the mail checking, it is becoming very tedious for me. So we can look over it. We can try to do whatever is possible within this 20-23 days that are there for your exam. And all the best. Take care and stay happy. Now I want to say, you still have enough amount of time, because no one reads for a whole 3 months. It is last days which are much more important. So focus and energize all your energy into it. Do a lot of practice. Even if you have not written a single essay till now, no worries. Don't worry at all. Don't get panicked. Start from today. You will do very good. Have faith on yourself, and that's all. That's what it matters in this exam. I have met a lot of my colleagues who have cleared this exam, and I have known that the only virtue that helps is your self-confidence. That shouldn't be down at any point of time. However, that should not go into the realm of overconfidence. Self-confidence that is based on reality, that is the most beautiful thing. That's all that I wanted to say. Take care, stay happy. And again, I want to say, this is all that which had worked for me, that which is of my understanding. There might be other interpretations, that might be other tricks and tips which are equally good. So I'm not telling you to emulate anything. Rather, if you feel it is okay for working for you, you can emulate. And don't emulate directly in the exam hall. Rather, you try to implement them in your practice sessions, in your mocks. And if you get good feedbacks and positive feedbacks, and if you find it is logical enough, then only you should implement. That's all that I wanted to say. Take care. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Namaste.